We're at the historic home of Samuel Bell Maxey in Paris, Texas, to announce episode 13 of the Texas Generals, presented by the Texas Division of the Sons of Confederate Veterans. Hi, I'm Johnny Anderson, and unless you're a Civil War history nerd like me, you might not know the name of Sam Maxey. But he was a West Point graduate, a distinguished veteran in the war with Mexico, a Confederate general, and after the war, a United States Senator from Texas. I hope you enjoy this episode, and if you do, be sure and give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel.
Samuel Bell Maxey, named after his maternal grandfather, was born on March the 30th, 1825, in Tompkinsville, Kentucky, the third of four children to Rice Maxey, an attorney, and Lucetta Bell Maxey. Sam spent his childhood in Albany, Kentucky, where he formed lifelong friendships with Thomas Bramlett, who would later become the governor of Kentucky, and his brother William, who would go on to become a judge in Texas. The Maxeys also took in an orphan named Preston Leslie, who in 1871 also became the governor of Kentucky. Sam and his brother William studied math and Latin from a private tutor, and in 1842, Senator Brian Owsley of Kentucky gave Sam an appointment to the United States Military Academy at West Point. While at West Point, Maxey struggled with mathematics, engineering, and tactics. In 1846, Sam graduated 58th out of 59, the 59th ranked student being George Pickett of Gettysburg fame. After graduation, Maxey was commissioned as second lieutenant in the 7th United States Infantry and fought in the war with Mexico from Veracruz to Mexico City. Sam was recognized for his valor when his company scaled the fortress under fire and captured Contreras and was promoted to first lieutenant. In 1848, Maxey left Mexico for his new posting in Jefferson Barracks in Missouri, but peacetime service was not something Sam was really interested in. So he resigned in 1849 and returned to his home in Clinton County, Kentucky. There he studied law under his father and in 1851 joined his father's law firm where he practiced law until 1856. On June 19, 1853, Sam married Marilda Cass Denton, the daughter of a Baptist minister. Together they had no children, but they did adopt a young girl named Dora. The Maxey law firm did not prosper. There just wasn't enough legal work to keep them busy in southern Kentucky. So Sam and his father read accounts of opportunities in Texas, and in 1857 they decided to move. They put up a Gone to Texas sign on the door, and by October of 1857, they'd reached Lamar County, Texas, where they bought 5 acres just south of the town of Paris. Sam and his father Rice rented an office and began practicing law again. In 1858, Maxey was appointed district attorney to fill a vacancy. He was reelected in 1859 and again in 1860. After the secession convention voted to leave the Union, Maxey organized the Lamar Rifles to accompany William Young in the Indian Territory to claim the abandoned U.S. forts, where he'd met Albert Pike. Pike was sent from Richmond to negotiate alliances with what were called the 5 civilized tribes. Maxey spoke at the Council of War on behalf of Texas. On his return to Texas, Maxey continued to organize and arm the Lamar Rifles with the $4,000 that the county had appropriated. In August 1861, a state election was held, and Maxey was elected to the Texas State Senate for Lamar and Hopkins counties, but he would never take office. On August the 19th, Maxey left Paris for Richmond to get permission to raise a regiment of cavalry from North Texas. With the endorsements of Thomas Wall, John Gregg, John H. Reagan, and the Texas delegation, on September the 3rd, Maxey wrote to his wife that he'd received permission to raise a regiment of infantry. In Texas, Maxey completed the organization of the 9th Texas Infantry of 10 companies and 1,120 men at Camp Rusk in Fannin County, and then at Camp Benjamin just outside of Paris. The 9th left Camp Benjamin for Memphis in January of 1862, but after a railroad accident wounded 12 men and damaged many of their guns, Maxey and the 9th reached Memphis on February the 13th. There, instead of moving north to Bowling Green, Kentucky to support Albert Sidney Johnston, they were ordered to Iuka, Mississippi, some 112 miles away, to protect the Memphis and Charleston Railroad. After reports that Union forces were approaching Fort Smith in Arkansas, Maxey traveled to Richmond with a petition from the 9th that they be allowed to aid in resisting the advance that was threatening Texas. Once in Richmond, Maxey learned that he had been promoted to the rank of brigadier general. He wrote Merelda that, "I think you have a pretty good-looking general for a husband. What do you think?" Maxey was given command of a brigade at Port Hudson, Mississippi in early 1863 and later moved to Jackson, where he and his division fought at the Battle of Jackson. After spending time in Mobile, Alabama, Maxey was ordered to return to the Indian Territory. At the Battle of Poison Spring, with 1,800 men, he took 170 Union wagons and routed a force of 2,500. After the war, Maxey returned to Paris, Texas, where he resumed his law practice. He, Merelda, and Dora moved into this house in 1868, which is now the Sam Bell Maxey House State Historic Site. He was elected to the United States Senate in 1875 and served until 1887. Samuel Maxey died in 1895 at the age of 70 and is buried in the Evergreen Cemetery in Paris, Texas, next to his parents. Merelda was laid to rest next to him when she died in 1908.